Hello and welcome to my recap of the Miss Universe Peru 2025 competition. Let's get started with who made the top 20, going straight to this swimwear round. So first we saw Ancash. So I had in my notes that Ancash was facially very stunning. I thought she had a great walk, strong poses, and she was really skillful at working her cape on the runway. I just wanted to say that I think that the boots in this round were a little bit peculiar. I thought that it was edgy, but it did look a little bit out of place, I think, in a swimwear round. I'd love to know what you think in the comment section. Next we had Arequipa. I had in my notes that she looked absolutely beautiful. I thought that her poses were very strong. She had great poses, but just needed to tidy up her routine just a little bit. Next we had Callao. I have in my notes that Callao was an absolute standout. She looked like a supermodel when she walked out onto the stage. I had 10 out of 10 face. She had a great smile, fantastic facial expressions, very strong posing, and she had a gorgeous strut. Next we had Cusco. Now, I thought that she did a good job, but I did think that she was struggling a little bit to use the cape, but this potentially is not her fault. The cape looked extremely heavy and quite bulky, so it did look like it was difficult for a few of the women to use on stage. Next we saw Juan Chaco. I thought that she had a very fierce opening. She really caught my attention on stage. I loved her opening pose, sort of like the over the shoulder look. It really gets the judges and the audience's attention. I thought that she had a stunning face, elegant posing, and she was one of my favorites. Next we had Ika. I really liked that when she came out, she took her time in that opening pose, and that's a great way to get the judges and the audience's attention. I thought she had a very radiant smile, strong and very sharp posing, and she did a great job. Next we had Jayne. I thought that she had great energy, but she did seem a little bit off balance at one or two moments in her onstage routine. Next we had La Libertad, and I had that she had a nice opening, she had very bubbly energy, and she had a fantastic strut on the stage. Next we had La Molina. Now I thought that she needed to have a bit more of a strong opening pose. I was a little bit on the fence on her second pose. I did think she was very pretty, very stunning, but I think her on-stage skills just needed a little bit of refinement. Next we had La Punta. In my notes, I wrote that she had a fierce opening. She looked just like a supermodel. She had great energy, amazing hair, gorgeous posing, and she was actually in my top picks. Next we had Lembeike. Now I didn't actually love her hairstyle. She had a half up, half down hairstyle, but I think the little bits were a tiny bit distracting. And I just had in my notes that she just needed a little bit more hip action in her walk, but otherwise it was a solid performance. Next we had Lima. I thought that when she started walking on stage, she had a really nice long and powerful strut, which really caught my attention. She had a very powerful opening and she used the cape really well. She looked like an expert. Next we had Lima Centro. Now I thought that Lima Centro had a really nice opening, but I do think her routine needed just a little bit of work. Next we had Lima Metropolitana. I had 10 out of 10 opening, so I really liked her opening posing. That really caught my attention. She had big, gorgeous hair. I thought she looked like a supermodel, and I thought she was one of the standouts on stage. Next we had Lima Notre. I have in my notes that Lima Notre was absolutely stunning. I really liked her opening, like half spin turn. She looked fantastic. She was very elegant, very beautiful, but her hair kept getting like in her face, and I think it was a little bit distracting. Next we have Mancora, and I thought that Mancora was amazing. She was so fierce. She executed her stage routine perfectly. She had a lovely smile and really energetic energy. Next we had Moquegua. I thought that Moquegua was breathtakingly beautiful. She had great facial expressions. She had really like bouncy energy, and she had top tier posing. Next we had Pacasmayo. In my notes, I said that she looked very fierce in her facial expressions. She had a strong walk. Her posing was perfect. I would say is that when she was walking sideways, I could tell that she was using her shoulders a little bit too much, but other than that, I thought it was a great performance. Next we had Peru, USA. All I had in my notes at this stage was that I thought she had a nice stage routine, and I thought that she had really nice facial expressions. Last but not least, we had San Martin. She had a very strong opening, very eye-catching. I loved that she took her time and she held the camera's gaze, so well done. Posing was exquisite. She executed everything perfectly. It was a great performance. Now, before I tell you who made it through to the top 10, I'm going to let you know who my personal favorites were and who I would have progressed to the next round. So in my notes, I had Callao, Juan Chaco, La Punta, Lima, Lima Metropolitana, Moquegua. I actually didn't have Peru, USA, believe it or not, but I did have San Martin. So, but obviously I was wrong because Peru, USA won. Anyway, then it was time for the announcement of the top 10 or the top 10. Making the top 10 or top 10, we had Juan Chaco, San Martin, Callao, Lima Centro, Ica, Peru, USA, Lima Metropolitana, Lima Notre, Lima, and Arequipa. So congratulations to the top 10 who then moved on to the next round of competition, which was the evening wear round. Starting off the evening wear round was Arequipa. I thought that Arequipa absolutely glowed in that beautiful white gown. She was such a standout. I thought that she had a really nice smooth walk on stage. She looked absolutely stunning and she gave a really solid performance on stage. Next we had Callao. I thought that her gown was absolutely exquisite. A very beautifully designed gown. It was like a blue sort of silver gown with a cape extending from her behind. And I thought that she had really nice, slow, intentional posing. Very elegant, and she was one of my absolute favorites. Next we had Juan Chaco, and I loved her gown when she came out. It was a mixture of silver with bits of pink sort of on the top and also the bottom of the gown, which was very eye-catching. I thought that she had very regal, soft, elegant posing, which was really nice to see on stage. And again, she was one of my favorite performances in this particular round. Next, we had Ica, who came out onto the stage wearing a beautiful orange gown that just radiated on stage. Now, I do think that Ica's opening pose could have been a little bit stronger, but she had a very nice smile and great energy on stage. Next, we had Lima, and I thought, wow, her gown was absolutely incredible. She had a really strong opening pose. She took, I think, almost the most time in her final pose. And because she took so much time in that final pose and she wasn't rushing, I thought she looked really confident and really in control and definitely giving off like winner's energy. Next we had Lima Centro. So in my notes, I had that her updo was absolutely stunning. I loved the really sheer silver gown. She really did look like a queen on stage. She had a beautiful cape and overall it was a lovely performance. Next we had Lima Metropolitana. I thought that she had a very lovely purple gown. She looked stunning, but I did think she needed to slow down her routine just a little bit. Next we had Lima Notre. I thought that she looked radiant in green. She really stood out because that green was so bright on stage. And I really liked her cape movement. Next we had Peru, USA. Now, I actually will say, I think that in her opening, she actually did look a little bit off balanced, but I couldn't tell because of the camera angle whether she had turned and then had to take another step or whether that was a part of her routine, because it was, I think for memory, it was zoomed in quite a bit. But she looked very striking in the red gown with the hints of gold around her neck, so that's very beautiful. I really liked that her dress had a cape as well. I actually had in my notes that she looked very beautiful, but I didn't think it was the strongest performance, which is so interesting to me because I didn't think her performance was actually the strongest at all, but she won. So I guess that just goes to show in pageantry, it's not all up to what happens on the stage. There's so much about the competition that happens behind closed doors, like the interview. There's also a lot of weight on the contestants, you know, social media and personal branding and the platform that they choose to promote or charities that they work with. So even though sometimes it might seem odd that a contestant with a weaker on-stage performance wins, I like to believe it's because they must be so strong in other parts of competition, you know, like their interview with the judges, like their social media presence, their charity work, their advocacy, you know, how skillful they are at public speaking and that sort of thing. But I am curious to hear your thoughts. Did you also think her performance wasn't the strongest on stage? Very curious to hear your thoughts, so please let me know in the comment section. And last but not least, we had San Martin. And San Martin really caught my attention. I thought that she had a really powerful, slow walk on stage, which I love for evening wear. She had great posing. I loved her facial expressions and her eye contact with the camera and the audience and the judges. She had this exquisite, like, blue sort of silvery beaded gown that just looked amazing on her, and she looked really regal, like she was really giving that queen energy. And that concludes the evening wear round. Now, before I tell you who actually made it to the top 5, I would like to share with you my top picks. So my personal favorites were Callao, Juan Chaco, Lima Centro and San Martin. Now, moving on to the next phase of the competition, we had the top 5 or top cinco, and the top 5 contestants progressing in the Miss Universe Peru competition were Juan Chaco, Ica, San Martin, Callao, and Peru, USA. So congratulations to the ladies for progressing to the top 5 and the next stage of competition, which was of course the question and answer. Now, each of the ladies who made the top 5 were asked the same question, which was, why do you want to be a Miss Universe Peru? Now, I used ChatGPT to help me translate the answers, so forgive me if they are not perfect or maybe 100% correct, because I am relying on AI to translate Spanish for me. But hopefully this relays the answers of the ladies. So, the first lady to answer the question was Juan Chaco. So when asked, why should you be Miss Universe Peru? Juan Chaco said, wanting to be the voice of Peru, a diverse, strong Peru that fights every day without delay. She knows how to move forward from the bottom, and she said that she wanted to use this platform to inspire, to unite, and to show that true beauty is born from our roots and from our history, and that we are also capable of transforming our lives. She also went on to say that she doesn't want the crown for herself. She wants a crown for every woman who thinks you can achieve something. Then she went on to say that Peru doesn't need a perfect queen. It needs a real woman whose scars become strength and who is willing to support her people with all her heart. And that woman is ready to be her, or she is ready to be that woman. I know that this is a translation from ChatGPT, but if that's what she said, I thought that that was a great answer. I thought that was an amazing answer, and I loved it. So moving on was Ica. So when answering the question, why should you be Miss Universe Peru? She said that she wants to be the attraction of Peru, not only because she has the love and desire to represent her country, but also the determination to do something meaningful with the title. She said for her that the crown was never just an external prize, it has always been the opportunity to show that beauty is synonymous with empathy, with love for others, and with humility. She says that she is one of many representations of Peruvian women and that she is proud to be here. She says that if the boys and girls who are watching this see her as an example of perseverance and discipline, then she is more than fulfilled. So I thought that this was a nice answer. You get to sort of get to know her a little bit, but I don't know if it was the strongest answer we had on stage. Next, to answer the question, was San Martin. So when asked why would you like to be, or why should you be Miss Universe Peru, San Martin said it's because she believes in the love and work she can do for her country. Because she won't just wear a crown for herself, she'll wear one to represent an entire nation with authenticity. She says as a communicator and a promoter of purposeful tourism, she's had the privilege of traveling to every corner of her country, not only to promote its wonders, but to connect its history, its culture, to see in its women the resilience and in its children the strength and dreams. And she wants them to see in her the inspiration she knows she can give them, because Peru also deserves to be a global reference. So obviously this is a bit of a AI interpretation of what she said, but I thought that this was a nice answer, but again, potentially not the strongest answer. Next to answer the question was Callao. So when asked, why should you be Miss Universe Peru? She said that she is good in this field, experienced, and to all the people present, let's enjoy. She said she would like to be the next Miss Peru because she represents a new generation of women, pure, strong, and unafraid of having a voice, and unafraid to raise their voices. She said she would love to tell all of them, the women, to fight for their dreams because with discipline, passion, and perseverance, they can reach wherever they want. She says she wants to use the crown to give visibility to all those girls who still don't have a voice, so they can embrace their stories, embrace their fears, and in future, they can inspire new generations. This was a great answer. And again, I'm relying on ChatGPT, but I thought that this was a wonderful answer, and I definitely would have progressed her. And last but not least, we heard from Miss Peru USA. So when asked, why should you be the next Miss Universe Peru? She said that she wants to be Miss Universe Peru because of her town, and she wants to inspire all Peruvian girls to know that they can achieve their dreams if they work day by day, and that nothing is achieved by just sleeping on it. She gave one of the shortest answers of all the top 5 contestants. And she said she wants to inspire all Peruvian girls to know they can achieve their dreams, and basically saying nothing happens unless you work for it, which I agree with the messaging. I think that is true, and that is a good message, but this was not the strongest answer in the Q&A section, which is a very important part of this pageant. So that was interesting to me. But like I said, obviously Miss Peru USA, she went on to win the competition, so that just goes to show that she must have absolutely excelled in many other parts of the competition along the way. The next part of the competition was announcing top 3, which I was a little bit sad that they didn't announce 4th runner-up, 3rd runner-up, 2nd runner-up, and then the top 2, because I feel like that's much more exciting to watch. And it's also sad for the girls who didn't make top 3, because I guess they find out later if they're 4th or 3rd runner-up. Anyway, progressing to the top 3 for Miss Universe Peru 2025 was San Martin, Callao, and Peru USA. So congratulations to the ladies for making top 3. And then they announced who came 3rd, and then obviously the winners. Next, it was time for the final announcements. So in 3rd place was Callao. So congratulations to Callao. You did a fantastic job on stage. You looked absolutely magnificent. You blew me away. So congratulations on your achievement. And then 1st runner-up was San Martin. Again, wonderful performance the whole competition. And of course, the winner of Miss Universe Peru 2025 was Peru USA. So congratulations to Peru USA. She did a fantastic job. She looked so striking in that red dress. And I'm very interested to watch her journey leading up to the International Miss Universe competition. Very exciting times. Now, let me know who were your favorites in this competition. Please let me know down below who are your personal favorites and top picks. And if you are enjoying my videos, Please do not forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps me know if you're enjoying my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video.